We have got a very cool Let's Play and chat for you guys today. Our friend David is here. He is good to see you, my friend.
Nice to
Looking
see
so
you.
sharp, putting
Thank
the host
you.
to shame. That's the way we like it around here. He's going to be playing Jedi Outcast. This is Jedi Knight 2, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and I had to refamiliarize myself with this. I remember playing this on PC many years ago. Tommy and I reviewed this on in 2002, so that would have been the year that Judgment Day launched on G4. And here it is on the Nintendo Switch. This is Aspire Interactive re-releasing. They always had the Mac rights, and they had the kind of the rights to be able to release a lot of these LucasArts games in different ways. And now they're back with this game on the Switch, and it looks okay. There's no invert control, so I was struggling with it. But you play as Kyle Katarn, who has forsaken the Force, so you don't have any of your Jedi powers at the beginning of this game, but you will eventually have them if David can get past this door. And so we'll get into the thing, and of course there's stormtroopers to shoot at, and Star Wars sounds. And this was made by Vicarious Visions and by Raven back in the day. It was made with love, man. It was made by fans of Star Wars, and they were just going off and building extended universe kind of content out there, which is so great. Okay, but you guys know the drill. If you want to talk about anything, please just hit me up in the chat room there. Help me out with any questions or comments. If you can stick them in all caps, that's great. And David is going to blast at stormtroopers here, which looks great. Man, I played the F out of this game from the VR grid. Question for Crankypuss: what will make you happy for a new Star Trek? Blake, if they make it actual Star Trek, would make you happy? Don't have 7 of 9 with 2 big guns in her hands. She is not Rambo. I'm just relating for you. Yes. Yeah, I guess they do try to kind of reconfigure Star Trek for a different taste all the time, don't they? Yeah. Yeah. Good points, buddy. I like Discovery a lot. What can I say? I can't wait for Picard. Hip Hop Dan, hey Vic, of all the gaming conventions you've attended, does one stand out as your favorite? I'm a huge fan of the Game Developers Conference because I've gotten to know a lot of amazing people that make video games, and at that conference I can talk with them like people. They're not just trying to like sell me the game that they're making and pitch me, and it's not just about the feature set that's in their new game. It's about their process and the work that they've gone into. So usually there's a lot of like we shipped a game in the sort of the holiday time frame, and now we're going to tell you how we made it. And there's an exhale kind of quality to the Game Developers Conference. But I got to tell you, I've had amazing times at PAX. PAX is a very, very fun event because it is so much about the focus of celebrating the games in a real, player-first kind of way. I've had great times at E3, and E3 was certainly the mecca. It was the thing that drove me to. I had to make a choice back in '95. I could have invested to work with a production company here in Vancouver. They wanted me to put up money to kind of show how serious I was about making the show. Or do what I did, which was like, screw those guys. I'm going to spend the money and travel down to E3 and hire a camera crew, and we're going to shoot this. So that E3 became that mecca. It was a real kind of, this is my flag in the sand. I believe in this concept, and I'm going to put my own money where my mouth is, and we're going to go out and shoot some stuff. And we did, and it was incredibly beneficial for us, and we got amazing material there. And so I have very fond memories of E3, but E3 is kind of in a weird state now. They're trying to find themselves. They're sort of, 90% kind of pro, but then there's companies scattered all over the city and even before the dates of what the actual trade show is. So you can run around through E3 now and not run into people that you know, except at hotel lobbies or in hallways. And that's a big change from when everything was on the show floor and I don't know, some of the enthusiasm and the electricity of E3 has been sapped out a little bit. Let's see what happens in 2020. All right, good question though. Blair Farrell, question, will you be looking at the season premiere of Batwoman? Absolutely, I will. Has that happened already? Is Batwoman, it did, was it last night? Okay. I have to get caught up. I'm swimming in games right now, which is, boo-hoo. But I definitely will be checking that out. Maybe I'll try to get caught up tonight, actually. But I'm fired up to check out the show for sure. Question from Kevin S. Hello, Vic. Which is your favorite Star Wars game of all time? That's an awesome question. Wow. Oh, my God. I mean, the first game that comes to my mind is the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's the first thing that pops into my head, but there have been so many good ones. I loved X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. I loved the VR mode in the first Battlefront game that DICE made and Criterion worked on. I loved the Rogue Squadron games that Factor 5 worked on. The first thing that popped into my head, though, was Star Wars Battlefront 2. There was just something incredible about all of the assets. The first one that Pandemic worked on. Pandemic was such an exceptional game company. And I remember playing that on the original Xbox, and I got into a groove where I was just almost unstoppable on Endor and ATST, and I'd be playing multiplayer with people and just crushing everybody in my ATS. And I couldn't believe how long I was staying alive. I'm like, oh my God, I'm great at this game. So that is one of the memories that I have of it. Maybe it's a little rose-tinted because I was doing all right in that game, but that is an excellent question. Blake, we have to create a video of the best Star Wars games and count them down, right? Yeah, wow, that is an amazing question. Thank you for getting me to think about that. Comment, the Orville is awesome, I've heard that. We watched, Johnny and I reviewed season 1 of the Orville. We talked about the show back then. We thought it was great. The Wren, hey Vic, Tommy's Amico is almost 1 year away from launch. Any chance he's coming back on EP Live for an update? Here's what I've been texting Tommy. I want Tommy to come here to Vancouver. Tommy Tellerico. If I say his name a lot, he's going to find it online, okay? Because he loves reading his name out there. Tommy Tellerico, Tommy Tellerico, Tommy Tellerico. I've been texting him like crazy. I said, Tommy, bring a bunch of Intellivision Amico systems to Vancouver. We'll hook them up in the studio here, and we'll give everybody that comes to the show a chance to play these games, and we'll get interviews and people on camera checking all of this stuff out, and we can run through the whole thing, the whole story of Intellivision, and put something together really cool. So if you like that idea, share this clip on Twitter and tell Tommy how much you like that, and tell Tommy that you would come out. I would expect as many of you would make that pilgrimage to the VFS Cafe in Vancouver here and join us for that day. That would be a very fun day. We would talk about everything. Maybe it'd be a longer show, and we would just get into what the plans are for Intellivision. And the last text I sent him, I said, Tommy, bring your stuff to Vancouver and let's get into it. He said, we got to do it. So it hasn't happened yet, but that's what I've been bugging him. I really want to do that. Question, I finished Ghostbusters on PlayStation 4, and there was some stuttering in the opening and a cutscene that didn't load. Did the Xbox One version have any problems like that? I had one crash today, but I wasn't looking at the screen. I was checking my email or something, and I looked up, and it had crashed back to the front end. But other than that, it's been running really well. I haven't had any issues. I did check out Ghostbusters on the Xbox One S that we have here in the studio. It's not as good and not as polished as it is on the X. The X on a 4K TV makes a big difference, but it's a solid game. They've done a good job. They just, after you play something like Shadow of the Colossus, you want all the remasters, all the reboots and remakes to be that. It's not that, but it's still definitely worth checking out. Follow-up, there needs to be some lead time so I can book a flight. That's from the Wren. Okay, well, I'll bug Tommy again after this show, and let's see what we can put together here. Stop pretending that Batwoman is good because it has a woman in it, the Turth. Good comment, the Turth. I wonder if Jedi Knight Jedi Academy will be released on the Switch. I've heard this is like number 6 on the eShop store, at least in Canada, this new Jedi Knight game, and I've read something recently that Aspire is like freaking out because this is like showing the game to a whole new generation of people out there. Yes, do that. There's lots of, like, I couldn't even think of my favorite Star Wars game that quickly because there's so many of them. There's lots of great ones, and I think that they should re-release a lot of this stuff. It'd be great to get console versions of some of the X-Wing and TIE Fighter stuff. That'd be amazing. Earwig says X-Wing Alliance is pretty great. Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight, the predecessor to this game, life-changing. Yeah, I mean, we all have... Any of us lifers out there have lots of great memories of playing Star Wars games. Shadows of the Empire. I played the Rogue Squadron game on the GameCube not too long ago on the show and talked about it on Instagram, and people were like, "Oh my God, that was amazing back then." Okay, let's see what we got here.
Okay, I'll wait here.
Have you thought about interviewing the Rad Brad YouTube gaming personality? The Rad Brad YouTube gaming personality from Joey Roy Filbert. I haven't. I don't know who he is. Do you guys know who he is? The Rad Brad gaming personality? You know what? I would welcome any feedback and any ideas for people that you'd like to see on this show. We have the ability to get to a lot of people. And the reason why we haven't had anybody today and didn't have anybody on Friday is because I'm trying to catch up on some game reviews and get some review content together. So that means most of my time has been dedicated to playing stuff so I could talk about it. Because I have a big pile of new games. But I welcome any suggestions for people you think we should interview on EP. I'd love to. If you've got some ideas, I'd love to hear them. Let's see what we got here.
Cover our back.
Hister Mist. Have you ever played Puppeteer for PS3? And if you have, what is your opinion on it? I did play Puppeteer. I can't remember too much about it though. I did play it. I don't know if I did the review on it or not. I remember playing it, but I can't remember playing it for a long time. But I thought it was kind of cool. I'm sorry, I don't have I don't have like a whole story around Puppeteer, but I do remember checking that game out for sure. Comment, some of my favorite Star Wars games are Rogue Squadron, Star Wars KOTOR, of course, Knights of the Old Republic, oh my God. Republic Commando, incredible, yes. Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Force Unleashed. Yeah, the Force Unleashed games. We had Sam Witwer on the show, those games are incredible, especially the first one. Comment from Sydney K. Just got my Arcade 1-Up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cabinet. Would love for you to review one of their machines. Yeah, me too. I have put out some feelers, so stay tuned on that. I do have a concern about where this stuff is all going to go, though. But the Arcade 1-Up stuff that they've been making has just been incredible, and it would be pretty rad to see a couple of those things on our set here for sure. Blair Farrell, did you have a chance to play it? I heard there was some missing pieces of music. Blair's getting into the granular details on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cabinet. When will you be starting the rocket and ray guns for the year, decade? Great question, Taz. Blake and I have decided that December 16th, the week of December 16th, is going to be the Rocket and Ray Gun Awards. I think what we're going to do is we're going to shoot most of the categories and most of my thoughts on it, and we're also going to open it up again like we did last year to people that watch the material and also friends that I have across the industry to give us their suggestions and their thoughts. And I forget who suggested the Games of the Decade idea. I can't remember who said that, but we're going to do that. We're going to do a Rocket and Ray Guns for the best games of the last 10 years. So I want to reach out to people that I know across the whole community. So the week of December 16th to the wrap-up of that week is when all those segments are going to go out. We'll do a little bit every day, so we won't do like a 4-hour show or something like that on the Monday. But we'll post vids every day breaking down specific categories, okay? So I'll put that all together in a post. I'll put it into our community section on YouTube. I'll post about it on Facebook and on Twitter and in Discord, and hoping that we get a lot of people that we know that watch EP Live to be a part of all that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I loved the way that we did the rocket and ray guns last year. Also, we are not on. We're taking a break on Wednesday because the space here at the VFS Cafe is being used for a different purpose. So for a couple of days there. So we're not shooting an EP Live, but on Friday we are coming back with a brand new EP Live, and I just worked it out that Bear Safi is coming back to guest host with me on Friday, and I can't wait for that. I love that guy, and so we'll get caught up, and he's going to be sitting with me for the whole show, and I'm working on a pretty cool guest for that day, and I'll confirm it as soon as it's confirmed, so stay tuned for that. Comment, I love the Joker, and I would love to see an R-rated Batman movie made in a similar way or in the same universe. Jordan Cunningham, that is an awesome comment, and honestly, that is one of the things that I felt about this movie as well. I felt like the answer to this character is sitting right there, you know, in a Batman that responds to the madness that the Joker kind of creates. And it would be... I would love a direct sequel that it felt like part one of a two-part origin story, you know, and it's a very interesting take to assume that the Joker was the reason why Batman is manifested, and I share that sentiment with you. That's a very cool concept. Okay, I've got time for one more question. Thanks for the love, the Ren. Tommy is awesome, dude. Okay, what do we got? Loved your Amico podcast. Oh, level 857. How you doing, level 857? Let's see. Star Wars Jedi Power Battles with a friend is my favorite Star Wars gaming moment. There you go. That's cool. Benjamin Rivers, Worse Than Death, is out on consoles tomorrow. That's what Blair Farrell's got to say. Level 857 wants me on his podcast, so I guess we got to make that happen. That would be rad. Just hit me up on Twitter, okay, and we'll make that happen. What do we got here? Where's Blade or Chimp when you need them? I don't know what that's about, Taz. I don't know. I guess so, right? Yeah, okay. Adam Wilkinson says, Judgment Day was the best show. That's a great comment to end on right there. Thanks, buddy. We've done a lot since the days of Judgment Day. I think they had to not continue with Judgment Day on G4, although it continued as Reviews on the Run, because they acquired Tech TV and they already owned XPlay, and they thought it was weird to have two video game review shows. We rated about the same, but they wanted to kind of whittle down the inventory that they had to the one that they owned. But that was a great fit. It was awesome, and it was great that we were able to bring Electric Playground to G4. But we have done a ton since Judgment Day, and Adam, I hope you get caught up, man. There's a lot on our channel right here. There's lots and lots of videos that sort of go through all the different eras of Electric Playground and Reviews on the Run and Judgment Day. But that's going to do it for our Monday episode. David, how'd you do?
Not good.
Did you get past the door?
I did.
You got past the door. That's good. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you on Friday with a brand new episode of EP Live, but stay tuned to the channel. There'll be lots of content all throughout the week. Thanks for watching, and play forever.